Welcome to another edition of Ask the AD with Weber State Athletic Director Jerry Bovee. I'm Paul Grua for WeberStateSports.com, and we are into November. This is by far probably the busiest time around athletic departments here, Jerry. But this year especially, and it's busy, I guess, for some good reasons. And the football team now top 10 in the country ranking, heading into the final home game against Idaho State on Saturday, and then the playoffs. So we're going to get into all that, but boy, it's exciting to see what this team is doing.
Yeah, we're sitting here in Jay Hill's office right now, and I know the guy in this office always believed that this is where we'd be. So, we're in daylight savings now, and the offices are all on. If folks drive by the stadium this time of the year, lights are on at nighttime for sure. Right. So it is a busy time, but a great time.
You mentioned Coach Hill. He now has a career overall record that's above 500, which is saying a lot because he started out 2-12. In the last 31, he's 21-10 in his last 30 games. He's really turned this thing around.
Yeah, he talks a lot about that first season and thinking that we would compete at a different level than what we actually did. We were close in a lot of games, but to see where we started in the first year, and then even in year two, and then quickly moving up. I think you shared a stat with me that he might be like 20 as a head coach, 20-10 or 20-9 over his last 29 to 30 games. So that's certainly an upswing. And then what we've done at home in his time here is really impressive too. So we're hoping we're playing at home for the next couple weeks.
Right. Idaho State, Saturday, 2 o'clock at Stewart Stadium, a chance to win the Big Sky title. With a win, the Wildcats will claim a share of the conference title for just, not many times, 5th time in school history that's happened. So that's a big deal. We want to get all the fans out to that game Saturday, 2 o'clock. Senior day, of course, as well, with a championship on the line.
Yeah, it would be the first time for me as athletics director. I was on campus working in another capacity the last time we tied
in
2008. But this is big. I mean, it's what we put this out there for, and it's what we believed we could do when Coach Hill came here. And he's got his sights set on higher goals that I know our community wants. So I really hope that people, I know it's a busy weekend, it's a weekend before Thanksgiving, but it really positions us for opportunities next week. And if things go well this week and we can share for that and have an opportunity to host a game, I think this week's attendance is a little bit of an indication to the NCAA of what we might be able to do next week as well, possibly hosting.
So Sunday morning, November 19th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time on ESPNU is when the FCS Playoff announcements come out from the committee. The top 8 teams get a bye. There's 24 teams in the tournament. The top 8 get a bye, and then the next 6 will play that weekend. A lot goes into it. There has to be a bid process and so forth, and the committee, of course, will rank those teams. But Weber State has put in a bid to host a first-round game.
Yeah, we've actually put in a bid to host every round. But with the way the seeding goes, it's pretty difficult to think that you would get to host on. But certainly our hope is to be able to host in the first round. I mean, there's an outside chance that we could get a bye. It doesn't really look good for us just based on the fact that Southern Utah is a little bit ahead of us, and in the head-to-head matchup they beat us. But depending on what goes on in Cedar City this week, we could have a shot. It doesn't look likely, but there is a great opportunity for us to potentially host a playoff game in the first round.
So that would be on November 25th, and again, a lot goes into that. Obviously, Weber State needs to put some money forward and needs to sell some tickets to get that money and to have a chance. But what a great opportunity it would be for the football program to have a home playoff game.
We put a bid in last year. The minimum bid is $30,000 to host, and that seems like that'd be easy to hit that number, but that's a net number, so that's with all your expenses in there. We put in a substantially higher bid this year, and on the hopes that if we had that opportunity, that our community would embrace it. So, we think that this would. I mean, we've never hosted ever in school history a playoff game, so that would be a first. And I really think, other than it being Thanksgiving weekend, I really believe our community would embrace that and be excited about the opportunity.
So again, football Saturday, November 18th against Idaho State, the final home game, and then the playoffs, and we'll see from there. But 8-2 right now. Pretty exciting. Before we wrap it up, a couple quick things. The men's basketball team opened the season with a win over Utah State on Friday night. The Deaf Center was rocking there in a season opener against the Aggies, and a great start for Coach Ray's team.
It was a fun night. We had a really nice student turnout. Always fun for our students on an in-state game. Some of our fans that were there will notice that we gave opportunities to move our student crowd over on the end line right behind the opponent's bench, just taking a look at that. there's a few things that go into that, and we're hopeful that our students will go over there just so they can be closer to the action and closer to our opponents and kind of have some fun with that in a positive, fun way. But we had a few fans that were up behind those students that had a harder time seeing because they stand. So we're going to have to work through some of those quirks and how we did it. But I got good feedback from a lot of our folks that and our fan base that came to the game. Really liked the atmosphere. If we can continue to engage our students to come and make that a fun atmosphere, I think it makes it better for everyone. So certainly a home court advantage the other night, and we've got more home games coming up. The team will go to the Bahamas this week with some very good mid-major teams in that field. So we're off and running, and then we've got the Beehive Classic coming.
Yeah, several home games coming up, and then again, you mentioned December 9th, the Beehive Classic, a new event. It's just a one-day event between Utah State, and then Weber State and BYU will play the second game that night at 8 o'clock. Tickets are on sale now at the Weber State ticket office, and you get both games for that. But it's a huge event to something that people have called for many years to have something like this happen, and it's going to happen this year.
Yeah, we're excited about it. To be in with those three schools in that event really brands our basketball program in the way that we want to be branded in state. So we hope that the Wildcat faithful will get a ticket and come down. We will have an opportunity for our Wildcat Club members to have a pregame event there at Vivint Smart Home Arena, and more information will be sent to the Wildcat Club. So you've got to have a ticket to be able to get into that pregame event with the Wildcat Club. But it'll be a fun night, and to be able to see those four schools play over the next 3 years, we'll be there in a rotation. So we've got BYU this year, Utah State next, and then we'll play Utah in the final game of that series. So really fun for our program. It's good for our the revenues that we need to hit certain marks to continue to improve the team. So all in all, this is a win-win, and Jazz have been outstanding organization putting this together and working with us to get what we need.
And we should mention also congratulations to Jeremiah Larson and the Wildcat volleyball team heading to the Big Sky tournament for the first time since 2008. They'll play North Dakota on Thursday in Sacramento. Big step forward for that program too.
Yeah, that 2008 year was a good
year. It was a good year.
Football playoffs. I couldn't be prouder of Jeremiah. It has been a long road to get that culture turned around, the success of the program, and this is another step. Especially when you look at mid-season, things looked very bleak. We were not hitting on any cylinders at that point, and for him to kind of keep them going and improving, that's what you want to see in a program, is continued improvement. And to be able to play so well in the second half of the Big Sky season and earn the right to go to the playoffs is big. And I told him yesterday, I hate to use a gambling term, but we're playing on house money at this point, and so we go into this tournament very hot and really with nothing to lose. But it's a springboard to what's coming next. We've signed some very good student athletes to come in next year. I'm really excited about the future of volleyball.
And he shaved his head as well after making the
jump. How about that? I told him, be careful with that, because when you get to be our age, it may not grow back.
What are you saying? It's all right.
You don't.
I haven't shaved mine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't shave his, but it's not growing back.
Probably not. That's okay. Thank you for joining us. This is such a busy time, but what a fun time of year it is.
Yeah, we're excited about it. I use that word excited a lot, but really, that's the best word I can come up with. There's so much work that goes on to putting all of this out there with 16 sports and all of the athletes and the coaches, and to see the fruits of that is very rewarding for everybody. All of us, the staff, our fan base, the administration. You never get too high with the highs or too low with the lows, but it's pretty fun to be in the run where we're at right now.
It's a great time to be a Wildcat. Check out all the events coming up again with the football game on Saturday, and follow WeberStateSports.com for more information. Go Wildcats!